Hello everyone and welcome to the last Java tutorial, I believe, on nodes. So the last time we were here, we finished removing nodes as specific index. If the number of nodes was greater than 2, meaning if it was 1, 2, or 3 and you could not remove the first one, you had to be able to remove the second, and you could not remove the head or the tail. Now, what if we're going to go and fix this now, so that way we can remove any node, right? Regardless if it's 2 or more, right? So if we remove the tail, all that's left is going to be the head. And if we remove the head, all that's left is going to be the tails. And we're pretty much going to be having uh, the remove node at index. It's pretty much we're just editing remove node at index, so that way we can remove any node and it will fix it for us, where it will rearrange it, where if we have again 3, if we remove the first one, current will go to the one after it, right? So if we remove the head, we're going to go current equals to the next node, right? If we remove the second one, the first one is going to link up to the third one. And if we remove the third one, the one before it is not going to have a the second one is not going the second one is not going to have a next node. So that actually won't be that hard to implement. So let's do this. Um, let's remove all this. Actually, let's just Control Z comment that. So I believe we will go to source, toggle comment. There we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to just copy this pretty much for the most part. Get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that, and that. Okay, so our current node is 1, index equals what? That while current on next, while index num is not equal to I, and the current node is not equal to null, meaning that we're gonna keep going. So let's say if we have 1, 2, and 3, right, and we want 4. Well, obviously, if we're on 3 and the next one is null, we can't go to 4. But if we want to get to 3, right, it's gonna do 0, 1, 2, and the next one after that is going to not be null. So it's going to increment it, and current equals current on next. So then when we get at 3, while index number is not equal to 2, and the current on next is not null, but when we're at 3, it's going to be null, so it's going to exit out. So actually, while that is less than the one we want. Okay, so now when we run this, it will go and get us to our current, right? So the last thing we need to do is if the current node that we're on dot before is equal to null. So let's say it's the first one, right? Oops. If we're on the first node, the head node, right, and it's equal, the before it's going to obviously equal null, right, because there's nothing before it. We're just going to do current equals, actually current current equals current dot next, and current dot before is going to equal no, right? So if it's not no, meaning like we're in the middle or something like that, or there's nodes to the left and to the right, let's just do it else if the current dot before is not equal to no and the current dot next is not equal to no, meaning there's something after, right? There's a node to the left and to the right. We're going to do current dot before is going to equal our current dot next, and current equals current dot before. We'll just go to the one before it. We're not gonna go to the one after. But it really doesn't matter. You can set it to before or after. It does not matter. Honestly, it does not matter which one you choose, whether the one is before or the one after. Okay? So let's just run one more if statement. If the current dot next, meaning we're on the last node, the tail, right? That's if we're saying, okay, we want to remove the tail node. We're going to do if current dot next is equal to null, and make that double equals. Then we're going to do current equals current dot before, and we'll do current dot next equals no, and there, and hopefully we are good. So now let's do alright, so let's run this now. Okay, so we remove the value at 2. So while it was less than 2, right, and current dot next was not equal to null, so that turned out true. We increased the index and we made current equal to the one that we're on. Okay, so if the one before was null, that turned out to be false. If the one before was not null, so it should have ran this current value. Oh, fail. Let's do now. Let's actually print out what its current value is now. Current value is plus current dot value. Okay. So if we run this, if current dot next equals null, okay, so this has to run because the one before is a null, right? And the one after it is a null, right? It's a tail, so this has to run. As strange. That's weird. Let's do let's print out what our index is. So we are at the proper index. Index we are at is 2. If the one before is not null, right? That's good. If the one after is not null, the assigned value is never used. Oh, current dot before dot next equals the current dot next. Okay. So let's do, actually, we assigned the currents before to the currents after, right? And this one is we removed the head node. That's pretty much what we did here. And this one is we removed the tail node. Huh, interesting. We assigned the currents before to the currents after. But current on next does not have the one after it is a null value, because when we add a node, right, our current dot add node, right, and we're equaling ourselves to that current node. Okay, so our node dot current equals the head Okay. Let's print out what the current next value was. Let's do current next value, because this is interesting to see what's after. Huh. So when we added the node equaled 1. Oh, that's right. We made the node the head node. So 2 is essentially the middle one. Fail. So it is working. My bad. I keep forgetting that we have this node here that we added. You wanna what? I'm just gonna put this to here because I am currently getting really lost. Well, I can't do that. Fail. So I'm just gonna put a comment here. This is the first node made. Okay, so it does work. So let's do let's remove the first node. If we run this, we removed the head node, right? And if we do the third, the current value, we removed the tail node, and the current value we are at is 1, because it's 0, 1, 2. So in the order of the nodes was 0. I know that looks like a 6. 0, 1, 2, and I'm using my mouse here, so let me see if I can make this look. Let's make this try to look a little bit nice. Okay, that's good enough. So 0. There you go. So the first node was 0, 1, and 2, right? But in the order we're at 1, 2, and 3. That way it's like we remove the first node, which will be 0, remove the second one, which is 1, and remove the third. So when we remove the third one, our current node is now 1, because that's the only way we can go. When we remove this, we have to go backwards. Here, it does not matter if we go to the right or the left, because we can go to either one and it would not matter. Okay, so now you might be wondering, okay, when we remove it, now what happens? Well, now this becomes 1 and this becomes 2. Okay, so this is now 1. This has been scratched off. Let's say we remove 2. This has been scratched off. And now this 3 here, the third node, now becomes a 2. So now if we go down here and we do remove node at index 3, and now if we do remove node at index 2, our current node now should be the head. Yep, we removed the tail node and our current value is 0, which is the first node we ever made. So that was actually quite short, 16 minutes, to actually just code up all this. So that's pretty much the end of the node series. If you're able to follow along, please pat yourself on the back, because this is not an easy topic to focus on, since it's a lot of theoretics and a lot of node switching of the nodes. But in the end, this is actually, you made your own first linked list, essentially, on that. So yeah, now you can always just do like if you just want to go through all the nodes, you can just do while the current.next is not equal to null, just do current equals current.next and then print out the current dot value, and then so on and so forth. That will just be a really quick next node value if you want to go through all the nodes and see what their values are. Okay, so if you're able to follow along, good job. So please subscribe, hit that like button, and comment on what you would like to see next. If you also have any questions, you may also put that in the comments. Don't be afraid to ask any questions, and have a good one.